This episode right here, we want to talk about losing yourself in relationships, man. I know a lot of y'all can relate to it. My boy Cal, he got some experience with that, and that's what we're going to talk about. Today, losing yourself in relationships, man.
Relations.
What you think about that, Cal?
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's a real tough one because, it's not just talking about a romantic relationship. It could be a relationship with your kid or anybody, you know what I mean? And I tell you, it's a
Mm-hmm.
tough one. And my experience with that is that like to kill me, so to speak, especially in that
Okay.
romantic relationship because I wasn't able to be the man I need, not only for me, but for them because I just kept trying to give them everything and take care of everything. You know what I mean, so to speak. And I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
man, it was a crazy situation at the end, man, because I saw how lost I was. I just
Yeah.
saw how I couldn't function as a man. Didn't even really know how to function as a man at that time because I wanted to please them so much. I wanted to make sure whatever they need was I was going to take care of. But see, what I've come to understand, I can't do for them what they don't do for themselves. You know what I mean? I can't
Wow.
expect you, just like me, happiness. I can't expect you to give me that. I can't expect you to do the things for me that I should be doing for myself, man. And a lot of men, and I just speak from a level of experience, just lost in these relationships. We get so caught up in them, man, and to the point that
Yeah.
we're not even functioning, that we're not even being the man we need to be, not only for ourselves, for them. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I'm gonna chime in a little bit. And I was listening to you. I was just thinking about, because I go to a lot of meetings, and one topic that I hear a lot in in these meetings is in the realm of relationships, right?
Okay.
That there's this disbelief, or there's this concept for some people. You help me out, if you help me out when you can. Is that it seems like people seem that to believe that if they in a relationship, they gonna be happy, man. You know, a
Mm,
good relationship gonna make them be all right with themselves. And from my experience, bro, listen, that's an illusion and that's a trick. But
okay.
most importantly, it's the disease of addiction. That's just my experience.
Okay.
That to keep
Okay.
you focused on other people, and so you won't do the work on yourself.
Right. And I just want to say it ain't nothing wrong with being in a relationship, man. Ain't nothing wrong
Right.
with it, man. You know what I mean? And I had to come to understand a relationship has its place in my life, especially coming from
Okay.
what I come from and how I messed my life up and made all these bad decisions. And then I try to put a relationship that'll fix that. And that doesn't work.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It wasn't until I got to learn a lot about me and understand a lot about me. I know how to set healthy boundaries in a relationship now. You know what I mean? And I'm real
Right.
grateful. I'm real grateful that my higher power, which I choose to call God, has helped me with that, man. Because I tell you, man, that relationship piece, like you say, disease of addiction. Kind of, if you don't really know how to be in one, man, that thing will trip you up every time, man. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because I put so much, I kind of make it like my God, so to speak. I do
Okay.
everything for that. I try to make
Okay.
it be
What
all this.
caused that? What caused
Well,
that? I mean, you touched on that. What your experience in recovery and working on yourself, share
well,
with the people what caused you to do that. Put a relationship as
well,
say as your God.
because for one thing, I was, instead of going internally and getting myself together, I look outside of me and try to attach to things. And then
Okay.
once I get in a relationship and I make it bigger than what it's supposed to be to me, if that make any sense. That's my
Okay.
everything. And we got a
Mm-hmm.
term that we say, what it says, added, about how as a man or woman, life is controlled by drugs. That
Mm-hmm.
relationship controlled my life. When I got up,
Okay.
it was all about it. I got to make sure she happy. I didn't even understand I was operating in uh, caretaking and people pleasing. And we ain't even got with them
Mm.
defects yet. So I don't know nothing
Right.
about that. I ain't gonna have no idea.
Okay.
All I know is I gotta make her happy. And then you gotta understand this too. I'm the type of guy I want to fix everything, but I can't fix everything.
Ooh,
You know what I
easy,
mean?
man.
And I
There
had,
you go. There you go. There you go. Go ahead.
yeah, and I had to learn, man, and I had to learn the hard way, man. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I have some stories about it in a relationship, boy. How it told me up. But go ahead,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why we're here, bro. That's why we're here. We're trying to help people. But you're talking about fixing someone, man. You know,
Hmm.
fixing the other person. You know,
Yeah.
and again, the delusion, the trick, no good.
Hmm.
I suffer from a mental illness, a disease of addiction, a mental illness that I believe, right, will because I'm recovering from insecurity. I'm
Right.
recovering from low self esteem, right?
Right.
That I need something outside of me to make me
Right.
feel all right with myself. Because we talking, like you said, we
Right.
talking about relationship. Now, I have a relationship not just with my wife now, right? I have
Mhm.
a relationship. Watch this. I have a relationship with food. I have a
Right.
relationship with my cell phone. I have
Right.
a
Right.
relationship. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
anything, I'm always looking for something
Right.
outside of me to make me
Right.
feel good on the inside. And when that thing doesn't work,
Right.
now my life
Right.
becomes unmanageable.
Right. And now we talking about losing ourselves. How do I lose myself? I lose myself when whatever I'm in a relationship with becomes bigger than me. And I do everything for
Mm,
it, and I don't do nothing for me. I don't make sure I'm being what I need to be because I'm putting all my energy and focus on that relationship. Whether it be with your kids. Like some of the, we have these issues with our kids where
mm-hmm.
we might have done raised them a certain way where we done gave them everything, or we might be in a situation where we ain't really been there for 'em. Now we with them and we trying to make up for lost time. So we doing any and everything, not understanding we hurting the kid. I
So
lose
operating
myself.
out of shame, huh?
Yeah, you can do that. Shame, guilt could be guilt. You know what I mean? Or it
Mm-hmm.
could be my baby. I just want to make sure my cuddle a baby. Cuddle 'em.
Yeah.
They done been got like my oldest son. He grown.
Mm-hmm.
Mama still cuddling him. I say he a grown man.
Oh.
I ain't finna do all that for him. You know what I mean? Lose myself,
Right.
be lost in them
Yeah.
type of relationships, man. And I understand, man. It's tough. Cause you gotta understand,
Mm-hmm.
if we get real about it, some of
Mm-hmm.
our belief system and how we was raised, some of us was raised didn't have no parents. So when we get
Yeah.
somebody, we put a hold on them so much that we don't even be the parent we need to be for them. I ain't even the
Right.
person I need to be for me. Because if I'm the person I
Okay.
need for
See.
me to be for me, I'm gonna say something like, "Hey, we ain't getting down like that. I'm
Okay.
not gonna do
Okay.
that. I'm not gonna do this." We talking about that boundary right there, man.
Okay.
And I
I like
understand.
that.
I
I
don't put
like that.
nobody
I
down. I
like that
understand.
relationship. That relationship with yourself, right? Because
Yeah.
that's where it all starts at, right?
Right.
That's where it all starts at, the relationship
Right.
with yourself. How can I love you if I don't love myself? How can
There you
I
go.
show you grace if I don't show myself grace? And that's what I love
Right.
about the recovery process. The recovery
Right.
process has taught me how to love myself. See, when I came to recovery, I had this thing twisted, and that's when they was talking about. They say
Right.
they say Vernon, your thinking is upside down. Your thinking is distorted, right? Whenever you
Right.
think something outside of you, right? As you were talking
Right.
about, something outside of you can make you feel good or make you feel secure. On the inside, bruh, your brain is wired wrong, man. Your brain is
Right.
wired wrong. So you was talking about getting that attached, right? You're talking about
Hmm.
attachment, and we get attached to people. We get
Right.
attached to an illusion.
Right.
Listen, man, we get attached to illusion of who we think you are or who we hope you will become. Listen, man, one
Hmm.
thing recovery have taught me as far as these relationships, look at
Hmm.
the facts. Forget
Hmm.
forget how you want it to be. Look how it is. But when you
Hmm.
get lost in relationship, it distorts your reality.
Right. And the best way I can explain me getting lost, man, is that just all the things that I was doing, man, it indicated that there was something wrong with me. You know what I mean? In the
Mm,
relationship, and I wanted it so bad till I didn't even think about me. I do everything for you, but I wouldn't do the things I need to do for me. And
okay.
see, and I want to share
Okay.
this. Ain't nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong with seeking happiness out here. But I need to
Okay.
understand, this is what I need to understand is all that happiness outside of me can do is expound on the happiness that I already have in here. That happiness out
Okay.
there is not the happiness that's supposed to sustain me. The happiness that I got
Mm,
within me is what sustains me. See, and you said something
okay.
real, real, real good. Yeah, I love me, but one of the most things about when I start really liking me, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what nobody say about me. You don't
Right.
like me, I like me. Because it was a time for many, many years I wasn't liking me. It
Okay.
goes all the way back to when I was a kid. When
Yeah.
mother said,
Okay.
you stop listening to me, and I started going outside of myself trying to be with them because I didn't like who I was. So I wanted to be like them. I wanted to do everything so they
Mm.
accept me. So I got lost as a kid. I didn't stay
Okay.
on the
Yep.
path. The path
Right.
that my
Right.
mother was trying to keep me on, because they supposed to keep me on the path till I get old enough that I can make my own things. And hopefully what they've taught me will
Hmm.
sustain me and keep me going on so I can grow. But that wasn't what went on with me, man. Got
Yeah.
lost as a kid because I didn't like me. I didn't like the things about me. I was slow. I wasn't dumb. I
Oh.
just wasn't. I was just slow. You know how you have kids that's in your neighborhood. He cool. He just a little slow. It take him a little minute to catch up to what we doing, so to
Right.
speak, man.
Right. I
Yeah,
got you.
man.
I got you.
Yeah,
And with that being said, when you don't like yourself, right? When
yeah.
you're not all right with you,
Right.
what happens? What happens? Based on my experience, you attract that type of energy, right? Right. And I tell
Right.
guys all the time,
Right.
like I tell you, a big thing, man, in recovery, man, is about relationships. You know, everybody want a relationship, relationship, relationship.
Right.
Me and my wife, we crack up about this all the time, right? But the thing is that you draw to you. You draw to you the way you feel about yourself, right?
Come on.
And that's just what it is, man. It's the law of relationship. It's the law of attraction, bro. Listen, well, in other words, bro, if you don't feel good about yourself, you're not gonna find somebody with high self-esteem. You gonna pick somebody who have low self-esteem too. Y'all gonna become enmeshed, man. But it's only until you start doing the work on you, or she or he, whatever, do the work on them, that you'll begin to see and begin to ask yourself, like, hold on, man. Hold on. This thing ain't healthy, right? But as long as you feeling low by yourself, like when I was out there using
Mm-hmm.
drugs, I'm using an example. I was using drugs. I wasn't around
Mm-hmm.
people that was healthy. I was around people who was low just like me. I was all right with
Mm-hmm.
that because that's the way I felt about myself. But am
Mm-hmm.
I around them people now? No. I'm with people who are I'm with people now who are secure, who have
Mm-hmm.
confidence, who want things in life. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I want in life. You draw to
Mm-hmm.
you, right? The way
Mm-hmm.
you feel
Mm-hmm.
about yourself. And I tell people all the time, bro, a lot of men, I help them with this. They be talking about their woman, man. My woman this, my woman that. She don't respect me. I said, bro,
Mm-hmm.
that's because you ain't respecting yourself. When you start
Okay.
respecting yourself, dog, I'm just gonna give it to you 100. Trust me,
Okay.
a woman gonna learn to respect you. She don't respect a
Okay.
woman would not respect the man, bruh, who don't stand
Okay.
on principles and values, and most importantly, who doesn't respect themselves.
Okay. Hey, I hear you, dog. I hear you, man. And I'm just grateful, man, that and then too, I understand based on my own experience. I didn't understand that stuff. I didn't know anything about that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it took me a long journey to get to where I'm at because you gotta understand, I created a person that wasn't who I
Okay.
supposed to be. That person was over a lot of years. You gotta understand, some of the way I think and view was jacked up. See, they told me
Mm-hmm.
conquer men and women as you can conquer. But I didn't
Yeah.
understand how that was messing me up mentally. See, you talk
Yeah.
about that the door that started thinking, that the started thinking is based on it's just a mental thing.
Yeah.
That's with
Yeah.
my mental. And my mental took a big hit. And then I get over here, I
Mm.
get clean and I start getting my life together. And then I get in a relationship not knowing even how to be in one. Look at my track
Right.
record. Let me hit you with my track record. 5 baby mamas. So how I
Fine,
know how
baby
to be in a
mama.
relationship? How I know how to be in a relationship? Huh?
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Yeah.
be in that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
suffer
Yeah.
from something from which there's no known cure, but it can, however, be arrested and recovered the impossible. That total self-centeredness,
Mm-hmm.
self-seeking, self-interest. It's all about me. Everything getting with the woman before it becomes a real, like over here, I got in a real relationship at one point. Before it came like a
Mm-hmm.
real relationship, it might have came a real relationship. I was just out for me, even in the
Yeah.
relationship. But even though it
Yeah.
being out for me, I still lost myself
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
what happened was they respected me at one time.
Mm-hmm.
When we get with these women, they respect us at some point. It's something that we do that we lose the respect. And you touched
Right.
in on it. When you
Yeah.
can't be a
Yeah.
man enough for yourself and man enough for them, they lose respect.
Yeah, yeah, they lose respect, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, bro, I'm gonna share my experience. I moved out when I was 16 years old. Had a little V. Moved out when
Mm-hmm.
I was 16 years old. Right? Fear
Mm-hmm.
that he was going to grow up without a father, right? Because I grew up without a father, and I didn't want him to,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going, Now I wasn't even with his mother, but I'm going to make her. You know what I mean? I told her, we gonna try this out. You know what I mean? Right? But now watch this. I had no role model at my home, no father figure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know nothing about
Mm-hmm.
being no good boyfriend. I don't know nothing about being no father. I'm just going shooting off the hip. You know what I mean? I'm just going straight off the hip, bro, trying my best, right?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, man,
Mm-hmm.
I had no model, no foundation. So I was out there just shooting, man, just shooting for it, trying to be a good father,
Mm-hmm.
hollering and drinking and doing all. I had no foundation. And see,
Right.
a lot of men, especially us black people, right? We don't know our father, but we trying to be in these relationships with no model on how to be in a relationship. Now, right? I ain't gonna just talk about us. Watch this. And the women go through the same thing, right? They
Mm-hmm.
go through the same thing, bro. So what I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
is, you got these two people, right, who suffering from father issues, mother issues, abandoned issues. You know what I mean? Low self-esteem,
Mm-hmm.
insecurity, control issues, and we trying to
Mm-hmm.
make a relationship, and then we wonder
Mm-hmm.
why these relationships struggle, bruh. It's only
Mm-hmm.
until people start going to therapy, life coaching, recovery,
Mm-hmm.
they start looking at themselves, getting honest with themselves, right? As they
Mm-hmm.
tell us, as we go into recovery, we kept using drugs, and we finally get to a point and say, could it be the drugs? The same way in
Mm-hmm.
relationship. It make you say,
Mm-hmm.
could it be me? You know what I'm saying? You were just
Mm-hmm.
talking about all them baby mamas, right? What's the common
Mm-hmm.
theme? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I never been taught, man, I'm talking about me. I've never been taught how to be in a loving relationship. I was like you,
Mm-hmm.
man. Get all the girls you
Mm-hmm.
can. Pimps up, hoes
Mm-hmm.
down. That's
Mm-hmm.
distorted, man. Ain't nothing healthy about that. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing healthy about that. So, man, I suggest to people, man, do the work, man. Go to therapy, man.
Right.
Get your life coach. Do the internal
Mm,
work. And when you work on you, you won't be looking outside for something to make you feel good on the inside.
right. And piggyback on a little bit what you were saying, one of the key things that I've come to understand is I have to change my belief systems. I have to change the way that I view stuff. Because what I've been seeing
Mm,
all my life, if I'm looking out here, see, this is then gave me the bad information looking outside of myself. Because the world wants you to system, they want you to think a certain way and do. Really, they really don't want you to be in no healthy relationship. The way the world system is set up. You know what I mean?
okay.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you. I had to change the way that I view things.
Yeah.
I had to change the way the belief system with all that stuff I thought what was real, it wasn't real at all. And I had
Yeah.
to give myself a break and understand I am a good guy. I'm a cool guy. I just was
Yeah.
out there searching for something that wasn't even for me because I didn't want to be
Mm,
who God really created me to be. But today I
yeah.
am, I'm a whole human
Yeah.
being, showing up for
Okay.
work, being there for my kids rather, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Doing the things I need to do, man, and helping others.
Yeah.
We got to help others. You know what I
Man.
mean? So
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
really grateful, brother. I really am,
And I
man.
like that when you said that we gotta change our beliefs, right? I like that
Oh, yeah.
because that changing that perspective on how you view the other person, right? See, when you suffer from low self esteem, like I do, when you suffer from insecurity, right? I mean that's really big in relationships. Insecurity, right? I'm sitting there and I'm watching
Come
my
on,
woman
dog.
and I'm keeping score. And not only that I'm keeping score, right? I'm beginning to build this person based on, watch this, her character defects. Now we all have character defects. We all have shortcomings. You know what I mean? And for every shortcoming I can point out about my wife, I can give you two about me. Now I can. But see, before recovery, I couldn't do that, right? Before recovery,
Yeah.
all I did was seeing your defects, and I judged you by that. And I had this big list of
Right.
things that pissed me off. You
Right.
know what I mean? That you wasn't living up to. Now I'm judging her. Listen, man, I'm with a woman and I'm judging her. That's your woman. What? But see,
Right.
I had to learn that. And because what happens, I began to stack up all these resentments, bro. All these,
Right.
you're not living up to my expectation. Now listen, she's not living up to my expectations, but a lot of my expectations, I never even communicated them to her. I'm just talking about my role, right? Y'all taught me in recovery, like Vernon, look, bro, you play a role in these relationships.
Right.
Right? My role is
Right.
you can't be with a person judging them all the time. And then most important, if you judge them all the time, right? Can you see the good in them? You help me with that, right?
Right.
I used to call you,
Right.
man, my wife
Right.
doing what? Then you say, okay, but I remember you saying your wife doing this, that's good, this, that's good. Just that's why we
Right.
say in recovery, right? Don't you look at if you tell just half the truth, you're gonna get half the answer. Right. So when you talk about, you know what I mean? When you talk about your woman in a negative way, whatever, tell me something good about her, bruh. But see, watch this. I'm going to pass it right to you. It's hard. It's
Right.
hard to see the good in someone else when you can't see it in yourself.
Right. Right. And a lot of that, what you're talking about, is based on that negative outlook that we have on life. You know what I mean? That negative outlook I
Mm,
got towards you or towards the
okay.
world. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And I view everything in a negative way. Uh,
Okay.
and one of the things I'm real grateful about, once I began to accept me on a more deeper level and begin to look at me and accept all the things I've done, pretty much that I can remember, and
Mm-hmm.
and be all right. And you say, you know what? I'm able to look at other people's defects and have somewhat of some compassion if I see them in that struggle with it, because I
Okay.
went through it. That people pleasing
Right.
defect was so much on me that it became a pain to me. I cried behind
Mm,
that thing because I wanted to be something different, but it was so embedded in me. And then when I thought I had was getting a hold of it, I see how it was manifesting itself in other areas. I'm like, damn. I'm talking about how unconscious I was of it. Sometime I would just do it and wasn't even thinking about doing it
right.
you know,
Right.
because I wanted to be, and I'd have shared this with you. I was Superman. I'd jump in the booth in a
Okay.
minute and turn into Superman real quick. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, when I see my
Right.
girl, hey, I see her struggling, I'm finna I got it. I'll come up with a
Yeah.
whole way thing to do so to make better for you. And then when you don't do like I want you to do, I got a problem with that. I done did all this for you. Uh-uh. See
So,
that people pleasing go in different areas, man. I'm telling you, that thing can tear a
boy,
hole in you, man. And it wasn't
man.
until I started getting with some people, God and
Mm,
some other people, and they helped me to show me, man, hey, you ain't gotta live like that, man. You can be happy in a
right.
relationship, you know. Learn how
Yeah.
to, and this is a real kicker. Learn how to you meet somebody, learn how to get to know them. You ain't gotta go to bed. Hang out with them for about 6, 8 months and see if that's what you want to do. You know
Okay.
what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
You
Right.
start seeing
Right. Right.
them flaws and them red flags, seeing if that's what you want. And I
Man,
experienced
listen,
that, and I
bruh.
saw down the road that wasn't what I wanted, man.
Bruh. Bruh. Let's talk about,
Yeah,
man. Let's talk about red flags. Listen, man. Listen. I only can share my experience. You know what I mean? People out there, if y'all can share your experience. But when you caught up and you suffer from low self-esteem, huh?
yep,
Boy, listen, people can they can wave a flag right in front of you and
yep,
move it, huh?
yeah,
You could be
yeah,
in the center of
yeah,
a whole foundation of a land of red flags. You'll
yeah,
see not nan
yeah.
one of them, bro, because you're too busy
Because I want what I want.
believing that I want what I want when I want it, and that right there,
Yeah,
God, if you can just
yeah,
fix that woman. Cause see, if you can
yeah,
just fix her, if you can just make her, really,
yeah,
I know this relationship can be all right. I'm talking about all the red flags, man. All the red flags,
yeah,
bro. You ain't seen none of them
yeah,
because you were locked and loaded on what you wanted
yeah,
because you believe that if she can just
yeah,
be this certain way, you're gonna be happy. And that's why a lot of
yeah,
people stay in relationships
yeah.
way past the expiration date
For
because